hopefully.
Thank you.
Today.
Let's talk about today.
Grand national state level, you have to run non-sales, wholesale.
It is like 9,000.
The only mistake I made, I didn't put her in a registration booth with the
Just this ever-evolving story.
Welcome back to Let's Grow Poland. We've got a great show for you here. Jason's going to be joining us here in a few. I think he's having a couple technical difficulties. But it's going to be a short week for a lot of people, but it's definitely a big week in Poland. So it looks like we got Jason back there for a little while. So tonight we're going to be covering a couple different things. We've got a recap of Tomah because that was one of the best shows that I've seen in a little while, and seeing the track crew bring that track around. Then we're bringing on Jim Scherendorf for the Door, Michigan poll coming up here this weekend. And then we're going to round it out with talking to Nathan Frey and the Totally Frayed brand new unlimited mod, which there's some backstory, and we'll bring some Poland through the past on that. So Jason, do I got you?
Yeah, I don't know how good my service is. But you sound good. Kenzie's sitting in an airport, and it's Jim Scherendorf, not Dorf.
Scherendorf?
What do you call it? Scherendorf, whatever.
Scherendorf? Yeah. Scherendorf. Okay.
I'm just gonna leave the studio because my signal sucks. You guys have fun. Love you. Bye.
Okay.
Hi. Indiana does not have good cell phone service.
So let's just jump into it. I know there was a lot of big passes. Friday night, let's talk the unlimited class. They had the sled set real tight on some guys and saw some good runs. Nathan Frey, we'll talk to him a little bit later on that. Saturday night, let him run. And then the much anticipated mini class, there was some great runs there Saturday day with Adam Bauer's win, and Hurt was up in there, and it was a good all the way around. There was also I know Jason had some good finishes, and his dad, I think they pulled out a couple top 5 and at least the top 7 with their diesel super. And then I know it was also a big weekend. Kinsey, you know a lot more about Whitewright than I do. So
yes, yeah. I was sad to miss Tomah, but I had a lot of fun in Whitewright, Texas. Of course, being in Texas in June, it was hot. But yeah, we had some great passes. The Wagers from Oklahoma had an amazing weekend. They swept the 5-0s. Caden Weger went 393 feet on Saturday and for the win, and had a great class of mods. The hot farms were good. Also, we have 2-wheelers and 4x4 Pro Stock trucks.
So yeah. That's a good weekend right there in itself. Mm-hmm. And one thing I was impressed with Tomah, I think they had almost 40 plus trucks for the 2-wheeler class.
Really?
And then talking regular modifieds, not the unlimiteds, not the lights, but your modified class. I know there was a couple pullers that picked up shop and went to Macon, Missouri, and made another hook Friday night and Saturday night. And one name comes to mind, and that's Mr. Brandon Simon himself, making 3 wins and 3 passes. I mean, for a tractor to do that, that's huge.
Yeah, so, for like 8 hours apart too. That's quite the accomplishment.
That is very much so an accomplishment. So that's enough about this weekend. I think you want to roll the video, and we'll get Jim on, and we'll talk some Door, Michigan. How's it going, Jim?
Oh, not too bad. You talked about it being hot in Texas. Well, it's hot in Michigan too. So
Wonderful.
you can probably see the burn on my receding hairline forehead here. So.
It seems to be hot almost all over the country right now. So let's talk about it. Big event coming up this weekend, July 5th, Dorr, Michigan. Where do we start with this? I mean, we've got 5 big classes coming in, 2 Grand National classes, and a whole lot of fun outside for the kids and for the adults too.
Exactly. This all started back in 2020. John Silsby is our president of Wolverine Polars, and we kind of had a thought. There's a track that's a half mile across the street from my farm, and it's actually owned by Amanda Rhodes. And I rent her land, and I had asked her if we could have an NTPA pole there, and she says, sure. So that was the year of COVID. So we kind of did the heck with COVID type of event that we did. So competitors got together. We picked out, I think it was 3 classes that year, and I got a couple of food vendors in, and we had an event, and I had the sheriff deputy stop by and say, you're going to get shut down. And I says, why? Well, you're going to have more than 100 people here. I says, okay, I can take care of that. So I came back home and got on that computer and printed up event 1 through event 10. So I laminated them babies, put them around the fence, and we had 10 events. We could have 1,000 people there. And
So
that's how it all started, and it just went from there.
how long ago did it first get started, and how many years has it been going for?
Look, 2020. So this will be our 5th year.
5th year.
That was, like I said, 2020 was a year of COVID, and that's how it got started. And I had Wolverine to back me financially because I didn't want to stick my neck out for a purse of some sort all the way. I'll do all the work and everything and make it happen. I said, but I need somebody to back me here, to be sanctioned by NTPA, to be safe, and just like a normal event. Then after the first year, then my wife and I took it upon ourselves to take on and create the Dorr Summer Sizzler to what it is today. And last year we got, which is an extreme honor, for a pole that's in the middle of my hayfield across from the farm, to get regional pole of the year against 60 national events. And I'm up against some pretty heavy hitters.
Yeah.
And
to get regional pole of the year, that's huge.
Yep. I mean, I don't mean no offense to Super Nationals. I don't mean no offense to Grand Nationals, but there's only 3 Super National poles to go against. There's 10 Grand Nationals to go against, and there's 60 regional nationals. Yeah. And I was damn proud to get that, and we're going for it again this year. I'll be honest with you. We're stepping up our game, and we got more stuff on the line. I've had a lot of sponsors step up again with more support, and my sponsors are also my vendors that I use. So as you all know, being involved with sport, you become a glorified beggar. Yeah. to get people to help you. So, and that's what I considered myself up until now. And now I'm a promoter. So now I'm going to implement what I set out to do.
And to maintain that standard of excellence of being the regional national of the year, you got to back that with the entertainment. And seeing that you guys got 2 Grand National classes coming in with the light mods and the semis, the light mod class has been growing so much over the years.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting to see 90% of the vehicles that we saw at Tomah come right over to this. And I bet you'll end up with a pretty good class.
That is true. I talked to, I believe it was Tyler, his name was, at NTPA today. And there's 12, I think, that are pre-committed. I'm still going to use the word pre-committed because that's what it still kind of is. And they're all here. There's one guy hurt his motors. I'm not Austin Berry, I believe it is. Not sure if he'll make it or not.
Yeah.
Offered parts by somebody. But we'll still have, and Joe showed him, he registered his tractor. So there'll be 11 to 12 light mods here. I got the word today there will be 8 super semis here.
That's a great class of semis.
I will have more super semis, from what I understand, indoor than Tomah had.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean,
that's pretty big.
And I think a reason is that I got to promote my Door Summer Sizzler special cup here, like the other broadcast does with the beer in it. But
yeah.
But anyways, I have a competitor, not a competitor, but a fellow past competitor, like I am, that came to me this year and said, I want to give you a substantial amount of money, but I want it all to go to the pullers. And it's for you to figure out how to do it. I said, oh, shit. What am I, excuse my language, this is going to be tough. So I said,
you haven't been on a podcast with Jason, so
okay.
Jason's 100 times worse.
Okay. So what I came up with, and it worked out pretty simply here, I got my spreadsheets right in front of me, but we're still going to run the event like a regional national A purse pull, but we're going to pay a pro national purse. So with that being said, for the 3 regional classes, they'll get a check from NTPA or WPI for the A purse, but they'll get a check from Door Summer Sizzler for the difference between the A and the pro national. So just say to win the A purse is $755. To win a pro national is $850, so they'll get a check for $95 from the Door Summer Sizzler. On top of that they don't show. You might as well be honest about it, because it's below the $500 mark. So that's for all the regional classes. Then what we did for the Grand National classes is that the light mods will get a 2-day hook purse, because everybody bitches about a 1-day hook.
Yep.
Okay. Think about this a minute here. This is right out of the NTPA rule book. The one day hook on light mods is $2,000 to win. A 2-day hook is $2,260 to win both days. You're only gaining $130 to make 2 passes down the track. Yep. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you want to make two passes for $130? Yeah. So what we're doing is we're paying a 2-day purse. So I took that $2,260, and added that, so they'll get a 2-day purse for a 1-day hook.
And that's really the way to go. Pullers first mentality there. And I know they're running, I believe it's Region 2 minis you guys got there.
Yes.
And will you be out there competing with the rest of the guys? Or are you taking the helmet off for a weekend and promoting?
No, I no longer have a mini. I sold that 3 years ago, or I quit 3 years ago.
Look how good I am on times.
Yeah. Well, it got to be the point where I'm 60 years old and trying to find somebody to go with me to every event on the region or whatever that understood what I wanted to do, and we're on the same page. I couldn't find nobody.
Yeah.
And borrow from somebody else's team to start me and this and that. It just sucked. So I just decided to become a promoter and focus on this event and do that. But with that being said, I will be on a mini rod this Saturday.
Okay. Well, that's definitely something. You heard it here first, folks.
Yep, it's true. I will be on one of David Lacey's tractors.
Okay. And David's a great guy.
Yep. Him and his dad, Joe, are special people to me. And we had an incident when NTPA was down in Florida. We had to go up to, I believe it was South Carolina that year or Georgia. And we had an incident where my son got ran over by my mini rod.
Mm-hmm.
A guy backed into my tractor and kept pushing it and drove over Tyler. And pocked a hole in my fuel tank and everything. And Joe and David and the whole class said, put us to last. We got to help Jim and Tyler get back on the track.
Yeah.
So we went back to the trailer and everybody wrenched on my tractor and we made it to the track and we spun holes. And from that day on, my whole world changed. It said this is a class that the people are pretty badass. You know, they're there to help you. I don't want to beat you on the track, but they're to help you get there too.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing about the mini division is everyone's going to help each other, to whether it's helping someone with spare parts or just wrenching. Heck, we saw the whole mini class come together and we swapped a supercharger between Slaw's tractors this year.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So whether it's one thing or another, that's the thing with pulling is the family and everyone's out to help each other.
Very much so. And also that, you know, being involved with pulling my whole life, you know, I've been pulling tractors since 1988, except for the last 3 years. But I've gained a lot of respect for people in other divisions. I became friends with people in other divisions. And with that being said, we've got the Holmans coming up. Robbie Foster's coming. Mick Broughton, they're all coming here to the door. Scott Phillips, Jason Bramer, we're going to have Dagner, a Grand National class of four-wheel drives here too. It just blows my mind that these guys are coming to support us. It's overwhelming to me, and it means a lot.
So gates open at 2, live music at 4, pulling starts promptly at 6.
Yep.
I haven't gotten to look at the track, but track is right there in Dorr, Michigan. And 7 and under's free, $20 for everyone north of that. And it's going to be a good show all the way around. Big Iron coming in. And then also the holy cow, the Grand National classes are going to be a show inside of itself.
Exactly.
So what is going on to help get the event ready for this weekend? How's the track coming along? How's the weather looking?
All week it's going to be dry. They're calling for rain at 8:00 on Saturday. So with that being said, I have my class order set. I do it, and I feel it's important to do that ahead of time. I've always said that since I've been pulling. Let us know how we're going to run the class order before we get there. So as of right now, it's minis, super farms, light mods, 4x4, and semi. But in case of inclement weather, I will run it by the rule book, which states that Grand Nationals do come first.
Yep.
So light mods will be first, semis will be second, and then we'll start with the minis and go from there on down. But I've been out there all weekend. Mowing grass, watering grass. I got a big sprinkler, traveler sprinkler, has not shut off for a week. Trying to get everything greened up. Watered the track tonight. I'll be working the track every day all week, putting water in it, sealing it over, putting water, sealing over. I have plastic to cover it if there is a rain threat. Bleachers are coming in, portable bleachers. Let's see. Basically, everything day by day will be coming into place. And one cool thing we got this year, I know I'm probably going to run out of time here on you, but I got support from every division to be in our door parade on Friday. So I have one vehicle from every class, and I like to give them guys and gals a shout out right here online. Art Mendez with a mini is providing his. Jason Bramer is bringing his 4x4 up for the parade. Carrie Feiss is will have her mod in the parade. Ben Gordon will have his super semi in the parade, and John Silsby's super farm will be in the parade. And our local record companies will have them on their flatbeds, except for Ben Gordon's semi. He's going to take that through himself. But to advertise, there's about 30,000 people indoor that day for the parade to watch. Okay. So So yeah, I'm just excited, and me and my family are proud to do this for the community, and looking forward to it every year. Even though I get stressed out big time, but
Yeah.
when it's over, I have a big sigh of relief.
Yeah, and I know I was reading through some stuff on Facebook. You mentioned that bleacher area might be a little bit. So, if you are coming, I believe there will be some lawn chair seating. Bring a blanket, and just be prepared because there's going to be a ton of people.
Yeah, we have bleacher seating. I ordered 2 more sets that will seat 600 now, on top of what I got coming in. So bleacher seats for about 2,300 people, 2,200 people. But we have lawn sitting in front of it. The grass is just beautiful green now, and it's at like a 2% slope going away from the track. So you're sitting uphill, going a little bit uphill, going away.
Mm-hmm.
Several food vendors, kids games. I want to mention that I got bouncy houses that are free to the kids. I have a mini excavator, an actual mini excavator coming in from AIS Equipment. The kids can get on and actually run a hydraulic mini excavator and dig holes and move dirt with it. I mean, adults, whatever. I mean, I seen Tim Ray drunk jump in a bouncy house that night, one night there too, and tip it over. So everybody has fun with that stuff, and we provide that all free for the kids, because I know what it's like to have a child that you want to go away and see an event. And your child says, Daddy, I want to go home. Well, if they have things to do, that's for them. You get to enjoy the show. So that's my philosophy behind it, and it has been working. So I'm going to stick with it. So.
Yep. So when are gates opening for pullers if they're planning on coming in the night before? And what's some other festivities going on? Because, I mean, after all, it is the 4th of July.
Yeah. Door has, like I said, Door has the parade on the 4th. They have a carnival, a small carnival downtown Door on Friday. Their fireworks are Friday night at dusk, of course, which is about 10 o'clock, 10:15. They have fireworks. I have gate staff, which one's an NTPA tech official, Artie Sias, and my neighbor, Stanley Snyder, run the gate for the competitors. And we have marked out parking spots. So you will be parked in a designated parking spot area, because I am limited on space. I have room for about 60 vehicles. So that's why I kind of choose my classes and what I get in numbers to make everybody fit in the space that I have. And I did talk to a neighboring farmer across the street, which ain't very far away, but like 500 feet from the entrance to the track. But he did allow us to park some haulers there if we have to, if we run out of space at our event. So I'm already being proactive instead of reactive on that. But there's plenty of parking for spectators, plenty of parking for them.
So looking at it as a whole, I wish I could make the event, honestly, because it's looking to be shaping up to be one of the bigger national, and we'll call it regional, but national events of the year, especially the only event to have 2 Grand National tractor truck classes in the state of Michigan.
Correct. So, and with that being said, I did sign the Galaxy Tour contract with NTPA, WPI, to extend my relationship with them through 2020. I believe it's 2028. So
this event's guaranteed to come on and keep going for at least the foreseeable future.
Yep, that's how far the contract went out, and I signed the contract with them to guarantee that I can get the Grand National, at least a couple Grand National classes, and I know it's going to be hard to convince people of one-day hooks. I understand, but when I read you the numbers and what we're doing things to compensate for that. They talk about mileage. Shouldn't really matter, because you're getting paid a 2-day hook. So,
yeah. So everyone, Jim with the Door Summer Sizzler, if you have any questions, drop them and we'll have Jim get them answered for you. But looking at the event as a whole, I mean, how big of a group of people does it take to put on this event?
I have 10 gate people that come in and volunteer their time. I hire 10 security personnel from DK Security to help with parking and stuff. I have Wayland High School bands that take care of parking for me. Sheriff's Department provides 4 people to help with this, and friends and family. I'd say we've got 40 to 50 people involved that are basically volunteering their time, except for the security and the police department that we have to compensate them to come out and work. But it's quite a daunting task, and like I said, I'm dedicated to it. I love it, and I love to provide for the community. It's not about Jim Shaindorf. It's not about us. It's about providing entertainment for our community. A place to go and have fun with your friends and family.
And if you can't make it, it's going to be broadcasted around the world right there on Full Pull Live. And that's a pretty big thing inside of itself, getting that.
Yes. Yep.
So that's one thing I'll be watching, and I can't wait to see it. So more for the fan side of it, food will be on the grounds, and what's that looking like? Are you guys having concessions, food trucks?
Yes, we have Doug's Backyard Barbecue has different barbecued items. We have elephant ears, French fries, lemonade, tacos, ice cream, Kona ice, a hamburger wagon. We have quite a few vendors on site for that. As far as fans go, another cool thing that we do is that I buy these little ears of corn, foam ears of corn, and it say Door Summer Sizzler on them, and I have the competitors sign their name or their vehicle on them. There's 150 of them in the box. So they put them on just one. Some won't have anything on them. We mix them all up. We have the competitors come out on the track, and we throw them out to the crowd. And just say Jason Schultz is pulling his tractor, and he wins his class. Okay, so if Jason wins and you got his ear of corn, you come up to the announcer stand and you get $100 bill.
Oh, wow.
And second place fan, if Jim Shaindorf gets second, you get a $50 bill. And third place competitor, that fan gets a $20 bill. So we involve the fans, plus we have a ton of giveaways. Matt McNault is my announcer that's going to be working the crowd. Dan Mayer is going to be, the guy at the table. And Jason will be Jason out running around flapping his top somewhere. So and, I love the guy. But anyways, I told Jason I wanted to have a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and giving away tons of items to kids. To me, it's about the kids. Getting the kids involved in getting them coming, getting them back into the sport, get them off their iPads, get them off their phones, and enjoy the show. And try to pay attention. We have a 50-50 or a 50-25-25 that we do, and some other cool things are going to happen pre-show that I don't want to talk about now because I want it to be a surprise. So, yep. And the music is from the Williams Trio. It's 2 brothers and a son. They play different venues, the type of music, but they're from a world-renowned group that's from our area called the Williams family. They're a bluegrass group. And they played in Nashville. They played everywhere. And it's a part of that family that's going to be just picking and grinning basically for an hour or so before the show, free entertainment for folks to enjoy. So
we're going to try to keep you on here a little bit while we're waiting for Nathan Frey to hop on. But what do you got? Any bold predictions coming in for this weekend on who we're going to see up on the podium? Or
I hope it's me. I told David, I said, all I care about is I want to kick your ass. That's all I care about. Set the tractor up. So,
you better put the good setup in it, basically.
And I think there's going to be another bet going on out there between Michael Pitch, which runs the Wolverine Deer for Tony Seatsma sometimes, and I haul dirt and asphalt with him in the summer too. I also haul asphalt in between farming.
Yep.
And my cousin Jody Shaendorf, which is driving a new super farm this year that was built by Don Slama for my cousin John, which is Jody's brother, and Jody will be driving that tractor indoor. And I think there's going to be a little competition between those two, between the red and the, between Jody and Mike. I ain't sure what kind of bet they got going on, but I don't think it's not like shaving your legs or nothing them other guys do. But I think they got some type of bet going on with that. And let's see, what else do I got going on? If you come Friday night, we are having pizza for whoever's there at about 9 o'clock or so, 8:30, 9 o'clock. We're going to call my people around. We're going to go get pizza for whoever's there. Dan Nearpass from Nearpass Polling, great friend of mine. They come up and they help out. He's going to be making margaritas. And I get some sand from out back, and I make a little beach out there, put my little tiki things out there. We have a little beach party and have pizza and margaritas at a beach party with my tiki torches the night before.
Gosh.
And then anybody that's there the night before or Saturday morning, Dan's also, he loves to cook, by the way. Danny, we go camping together. We go away together to polls, and he's always cooking. So just go to Dan's trailer if you want to eat. And so he'll be cooking pancakes and sausages Saturday morning for whoever's there Saturday morning too. But yeah.
That's always great. Well, who do you got to thank for this weekend? Sponsors, family, friends?
Man, there's so many. I mean, on that list, if you could bring that back up of the flyer, if we could bring that back up, please.
There we
So
go.
everybody on the right-hand side there, I don't call them, one thing I want to mention, I don't call them sponsors. They're partners.
Partners.
Yeah, exactly. Because not only am I trying to help promote their business, they're promoting my event or I got to keep saying that, our event.
Our event.
Yep. So without those people and businesses on that list, Door Summer Sizzler would not happen. I just want to be very transparent here of how much it really costs to put this event on. I have no infrastructure permanent at this facility. Everything has to be brought in. Porta-johns, bleachers, everything that has to be brought in, plus the purse money. This show cost me close to $70,000 to put on. And without that list of people, which are friends, family, and people I do business with, this would not happen. Period. You cannot get enough people through that gate at $20 to even come close to paying for this show. So I owe everything to these generous people that help put this on. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen. It's plain and simple. It would not happen.
Yep.
So
That's
everybody's got a chance to look at that. And I sent out a letter to every one of them with their wristbands, because we give them wristbands, VIP wristbands to eat with us at our polar meal and stuff. And with that being said, I asked them to at least send one person from their company to the drivers' meeting so they can be recognized, not individually, but as a group, so everybody can see that it took this many people to donate to our cause to make this happen. So, and like I said, without them, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Well, that's great to see. So, folks, big event going on 4th of July weekend. Just go up there and make a weekend out of it. Fireworks, tractor pulling. You can't go wrong with all that. So, Jim, I think we're going to let you enjoy the rest of your evening up there in the sizzling hot Michigan area. And
I gotta get my shirt up here. Still got my old shirt yet from Yeah, but
Awesome. Well, that's
no,
great.
just one other thing also I'd like to mention for anybody that's in competition or involved with NTPA, whatever, Ned Walliser, the president of WPI, will be here Saturday. He dropped off his tech trailer for NHRA here today, coming from Norwalk, and him and his wife are camping out in Michigan for the week. And he's coming back up Saturday, and he will be at our event also, which is quite an honor to me that we get the head honcho to come of WPI to come up and witness a smaller event like this, to be there for us, and I'm really proud of that. So
Awesome.
I'm grateful. So with that, you guys have a good night.
Well, thank you,
See you
Jim.
Saturday.
Thank you.
There you go, folks. Jim Shaindorf, I think I pronounced it right that time, from Door, Michigan. So 5 big classes, gates open at 2, live music at 4, and pulling starts at 6 on the hours. So that will be, if you're in the area, you don't want to miss that. Great event for the family and the kids all the way around. So now let's shift gears. We'll take the promoter hat off and we'll put the puller hat on. Going back to last weekend, new tractor got displayed, and the first time I saw it is just in a quick clip with Full Pull Live, and just a little sneak peek of what we were going to see this weekend with Nathan Frey and the brand new unlimited mod that he's come out with. So without further ado, let's bring on Nathan Frey and let's hear about his weekend. How's it going, Nathan?
Good. How are you guys?
Oh, it's another day in paradise is what I like to call it.
Same here.
So let's just jump right into it. Brand new unlimited mod. How's that coming together, and how'd that come about to start with?
A lot of years of planning. This is actually the 4th pulling vehicle I've owned in my lifetime. Had a super modified truck, super farm tractor, open farm stock 30 some years ago. And so, yeah, the kids got done showing in 4-H last year. We showed heavy hogs, steers, lambs, and goats. And when they got done with their 4-H career, I said I was going to build another tractor. So here we are.
Awesome. So I've been doing a little bit of looking, and I think Marty Wilson pointed me in the right direction. But was that originally a Vinny tractor?
Yeah, it was Ken Vinny's.
And then it went to Knapp's.
And then it went to Knapp's, and we bought it off Chuck Knapp right about a week before Bowling Green last summer, and we started in. So, yeah, it was a Knapp tractor. And now
was that just rolling chassis, or did you buy the whole operation?
We bought the rolling chassis, tires and wheels, cross boxes, and then I bought the clutch cans, the computer system, and the clutches and stuff a little bit later off the tractor. And then we built there was used blocks, but we built minor motors for it with brand new SSI superchargers and 1470. It's 4 1471 superchargers on the machine. And so, and we changed the reverser. We were on SCS reverser now, and made the cage a little wider for me. It was only a 17-inch cage, and we made it 24.
Yeah.
And, a few things like that. Chad Mayhill cut me some new tires for it. And Brad at Modern Machine helped me a lot on the chassis, and Sam McCurry does my engines.
So the
it's totally fried. Our name's fried. The Y name,
not fried.
So it's just like Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's totally fried.
So totally fried.
Which a lot of people pronounce it Frey, but it's fried. So it's called Totally Fried is the name of the truck. Makes it a little more understandable once you realize we pronounce their name.
Yeah. So coming into the weekend, first hit on a brand new tractor, went out there and just stood her up. Kinsey, I think let's roll the videos now, and then we'll have Nathan talk through his passes and what led up to him and what happened after and changes going into the next night. So, Kinsey?
I'm going to play Fridays first.
All righty. So slight bit of issue there going from Friday night into Saturday night. Walk us through what happened and what
Yeah,
we saw there.
I took off good out of the hole. It felt good and everything, but at one point there, all I could see is engines. I couldn't see anything else, and I thought I was going left harder than I was, and I left out of it, not knowing I was going to blow the front end off of it. What happened? So yeah, no, it was running good. It probably should have stayed into it, but the tractor's pulling left, and we're going to work on that. They say with high horsepower engines, they want to go left, so
yeah,
we're running all set drawbar and do a few things to try to get it going straight. That's just part of shaking down a new tractor. So
exactly. We even see that on the small stuff with our mini rods, is the way it loads the chassis. So he put the front end back together, changed a couple things around, and laid a nice pass out there, but just nicked that chalk line.
Yeah, still pulled left hard, but it ran a lot better. Got a little more weight in the nose. The tractor's heavier than what we thought it was when we went across the scales. We're working on moving more weight forward. Just all changes you got to make to get your setup right.
Exactly.
So yeah, we rolled another set of tires on that was 130 pounds lighter than that set tonight. So that'll be 130 more in the box, and we're going to have to move our fuel tanks out front to get more weight in the front. So yeah, no, we dropped the hitch half-inch on Saturday night and lowered the fuel in the tank, so we got a little more weight in the front box, and so it was better. So yeah, no, there's things we want to do to make improvements, but I was a little disappointed that we knocked the front end off and went out of bounds, but overall, we had two pretty good shakedown passes. I'd never pulled the tractor ever before. That was the maiden voyage. So, we got higher hopes from here on out.
Kinsey, let's get the Saturday video. Much better pass there. The tractor picked up and carried that front end at a reasonably manageable height, and it looked like it was on a pass, but I am confident you guys will get that little bug worked out of it. So talk us through more of what pointed you in the direction of going with a full unlimited mod versus just a regular mod with 4 871s.
My tractor's always been an unlimited mod, so that's what we ended up with. Really, like the 4 engines. Real good friends of Brad Benedict, Kevin Chriswell. They only live about 25 miles from me. Been friends of them for a long time, and I thought about maybe pulling 2 or 3 engines, but then we got the tractor home. It had the gearboxes and everything, and we bought 5 engines, and we just decided we was going to go on Grand National Unlimited. We got a shop and we farm and we're busy, and we just want to run 5-6 big pulls a year and be home working the rest of the time. So
what other events are you guys planning on running?
We're planning on running the whole Grand National circuit, and then there's a couple county fairs in Ohio that we can run 3 engines with 1471s, or we might run some Grand National modified. We can drop 1 engine off, and we got a gear reduction box to do that. But I didn't want to do that the very first weekend we had it. But down the road, we're going to run some 3 engine modified with it also.
Yeah, and that's going to be really exciting to see the adaptability, because you don't really see that very much anymore. It used to be where guys were bringing 2 or 3 motors in the mod class, and you'd see them run every single division of the mod, from the light mod all the way up to the unlimiteds. And now it's not really that much as a commonplace anymore.
Yeah, there's 1 or 2 guys do it. Yeah, I mean, there, like you say, at one time there's guys put 2, 3, 4. They just keep bolting motors on. I don't want to jump clear down to 2 engines, but dropping one off is not going to be that significant of a deal for us in our set. We're just going to drop it off the side. We ain't going to move it over to the middle.
Yeah.
But, I'm anxious to run something like that too. SCS made me a gear reduction box to run a little slower gear for 3 engines.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm kind of excited to try that setup too, but we got to get it shook down in the 4 engine first. So
yeah. So walk us through what it took to get that tractor ready leading up to the whole event. You had to hang motors, and then
I got 2 sons in operation, and they worked about around the clock to get the thing ready to go the last couple of weeks, and family friends was over helping, and took a lot of people and a lot of work to get there. If it wouldn't be for my sons working like beavers on it, we wanted to make it. And
a lot of late nights.
Yeah, and we had to get the pulling trailer around too. And we only fired that thing 3 nights before we pulled it. We worked all year on it. Sam McCrary started on the motors in the fall, and it just takes a long time to get rims, tires, everything gathered up. I am happy with all the vendors I worked with, though. They got me parts, and, we got it together. And, they say a lot of people, it takes 2-3 years to build an unlimited, and we did it in 6 months. So still an expensive piece. We got a lot in the tractor, even using used blocks and used chassis. It's still an expensive tractor.
So when you guys went out there for your first pass, was that just kind of a shot in the dark with your setup, or were there some guys helping you out?
We kind of knew our gearing and stuff like that. We didn't know our weight till we really got across the scales and realized it was a little heavier than what we thought. No, it was just, and I knew there'd be some shakedown issues and stuff. I mean, I'm happy we got it down the track twice, even though I did blow the front end off of it. But, there's always a learning curve. I didn't get real nervous on the line. This is the 4th new vehicle in my career. And I just thought in my head, this is the 4th time we've done this with a new vehicle. There's no use to get all nervous about it. Just go out and do the best we can. That's what we said we was going to do from the start, do the best we can. Because there hasn't been a new unlimited guy in the sport in probably 12, 15 years that I can think.
Definitely for a long time.
12 guys there with me. I was the 13th mod, and all them guys are really professional pullers, well decorated. I mean, them guys are all big league, and it's almost intimidating part beside all the big names that I've watched all my life, pulling tractors. And Bill Leishner come over on Friday night and give me a few pointers. That was real helpful and nice. Bill to and a lot of the pullers, that tractor's been around so long, they kind of know the tractor pretty well.
Yeah.
And they, there's several guys come over and give me tips and stuff. And so, the pulling community, as far as the unlimited guys, I really love pulling with them guys. They've been great to me, real welcoming and everything. Happy to see a new guy out there and stuff. And that's been real positive too. Kevin Criswell, I'll give a call on the way out there, wishing you good luck and stuff like that means a lot to you.
Yeah. And talk about, going from having to drag the tractor off Friday night, what went into putting it back together in hopes of making a run Saturday night?
Well, I kind of laughed. I told one guy that we ran demolition derbies a lot before we did this. We're used to putting front ends on stuff. So the boys started in, and my crew, and we had it together in, I don't know, an hour or 2. We had another set of tires. Luckily, we blew both tires out and, fixed the front end, and that went pretty good. And then I broke the hitch too when I jerked it. So we had to fix the hitch and a couple other things, but we got her back together and was ready to go for pull time. So that made us happy. So we just started in, and, we have a fabrication shop, so that makes it a little easier. We're used to building stuff. So my son's built all the fuel tanks, and all the brackets and everything was cut on our laser, and tanks is built here in shop and stuff. So we're in the fuel tank building business, so that makes it a little easier when it comes to that stuff.
Jason Schultz asked, did you have the Albino Buck Super Farm?
Yes, my tractor, and I sold it to Mike Connie. It was Julia's first Super Farm tractor, and now it's called Holy Smokes. It was out there running this week. It was good to see it out there.
Yep. So let's just talk a little bit. how do we get from where you first started in your first vehicle as a tractor pulling all the way up to the unlimited class?
Yeah, my first vehicle was a 2805 Massey Ferguson V8. I pulled with Don Flowers, a neighbor of ours that had Massey Pro Stocks. That was when I bought it when I was still in college and built it up, and actually won the Michigan State Open Farm Stock Championship in '91, and then built the albino buck in '05 and won Bowling Green and won the state points that year, and ran it to '08. And then the kids was getting in 4-H and everything. And then a couple years later, my brother and I bought a super modified 4-wheel drive truck, which has a blowed alcohol motor.
Yep.
It was a Benny motor with a DMP blower. So that got us learning the alcohol. That helped a lot going into the mod thing. We learned the alcohol the years we had the blowed alcohol 4-wheel drive. Of course, the kids was shown heavy, and so we didn't run the full circuit. We'd run 6-8 pulls a year with it, and that'd be about it. But we did learn the alcohol things. So it was just ×4 when you went to the unlimited. But we did have some blowed alcohol experience. And if Sam McCrary wouldn't help me, I probably wouldn't have done it. I got a really good engine guy that's really faithful to us, and that encouraged me to go ahead and do this. We really liked him when we had the 4-wheel drive, and that's when we decided to do the 4-engine. And we switched over to minor motors, and happy we did that.
Yep. I mean, talk about that, going from a 4-wheel drive truck all the way up to unlimited mod. That's a pretty big jump in horsepower. So,
yeah, a little over probably 4.5 times as much.
Yeah, because the technology just keeps improving. Chris Kohlberger, what was your super modified 4-wheel drive truck called?
It was called Back for More, and now it's called the Black Widow. It's on the Ohio State Circuit. Guy in our county bought it from me, and so it's still running today.
Yep.
And it was originally Roger Nelson's family affair from Illinois, his blowed alcohol truck, and before that it was Lou Shanklin's homegrown. But today Doug McKee runs it as Black Widow.
Okay.
Ohio State Circuit. So yeah, that truck had quite a history too.
Yeah. That seems to be a recurring theme, is all of your vehicles have quite the history. Talking about
it's kind of amazing how, you buy them and you pass them on, and whose vehicle was what, and once in a while you find out, you watch a vehicle for a year or two, and then you realize it was so and so's vehicle, and it's kind of neat to know. No, I feel like I got big shoes to fill. Ken Benny won one national championship with that tractor. Knapp's won 3, so I don't want to let it down.
So that's some definitely big shoes to fill with that, and you guys will get it figured out, because once you get it, it's just the matter of making laps after laps with it. So running the national circuit, you guys have been around the sport long enough, and you've probably hit all the big events, but if there were big events, whether it be in the States or even taking the tractor overseas, what some events that you'd like to make that maybe they don't have your class at?
Well, Bowling Green is the Mac Daddy for us. It's just Bowling Green's 45 minutes away. In our area, you don't seem like you're a professional tractor puller if you don't run at Bowling Green.
Yeah.
But no, Tomah was one of my lifelong dreams to go to, and I got to do that. And Chapel Hill, Tennessee is another one that I'm always wanted to pull at. Then were 2 other ones that I've always wanted to go to. And then it's always fun to run your local county fair or something like that too. But no, Bowling Green is the reason that we want to build the tractors.
Yeah.
We have a good day up there.
And it sounds like if you're running 4 Hemis, might as well put a 5th one and stick it in a mini rod.
Well, that's in the process, but we got to get the 4 running. We already own the 5th motor. The boys are going to build a mini rod, and it's going to be called Little Fried.
Okay.
But we want to get the big one running first, and then the 2 boys are going to build the little one. But yeah, that's in, I don't know if it'll be a year or 2 yet, but know that we're planning on having a mini rod to go with the big one. So,
what's your guys' plans with that? Are you buying a chassis? Are you building from the ground up?
They'd like to build it. We work with Brad a lot of Modern Machine. Probably work with him. The boys may build it here in the shop, but Brad's awful good to work with. I'm sure we'll use his parts at Modern. But yeah, they'll probably build it here in the shop. They like building their own stuff, so we'll probably do that. when it comes
That's
to
always great to see new vehicles popping up. And so that's always my question is, I mean, if it weren't for the mod, what class would you like to see yourself in?
If I wouldn't have built the mod, I'd have built a pro stock. That was up between them two. And I, like I say, I had an engine guy I had so much faith in, worked good with, and that's kind of what, and found a chassis that I liked and, could buy to afford to buy. But pro stock would be what I'd run if I wasn't running the unlimited. That would be the class. So we like the diesel stuff a lot around here too, but I also like the bloat alcohol stuff. So we like it all, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're looking forward to Bowling Green. You got a brand new tractor you just put together. I mean, that's just huge to come out swinging with the unlimited mod guys in a terribly stacked class. Who you talk about your family? Who are some other guys you'd like to thank from the motors to the?
Yeah. Well, Frank Bent and Brad Moffitt helped me a lot. And like I say, Brad Benedict, Kevin Criswell helped me a lot on the tractor, and Sam does the motors. And of course, my wife and daughters, they left me do all this too. My wife was the one that sent the check for the frame, so she's been real supportive. And you got to have a family behind you. You cannot do this by yourself. You just can't. And a team. You got to have a team of guys that know what they're doing, and they've been out here working their tails off too. And then I run SSI superchargers. Good friends of Craig Sage up to SCS gearbox. Of course, I said Brad Corporal, Chad Mayhill pulling tires. I'll probably forget some too along the way. There's several people that have been involved with me that have done a real nice job for me. Colton Wasserbeck made my setback manifolds for me. They look really nice on the tractor. Adam Kester's been good to get parts from, sent me parts right out to help me out. There's others too. I just can't even think of them all, but everybody I've dealt with has been real good, got us parts when we needed them, and been real fun to work with all the different vendors and get to know them and everything.
So before we round stuff out, fans, any questions that you've got for Nathan Fry and the Totally Fried Unlimited mod? He's the guy to ask right here, right now. So coming in, you're looking at the track, rained out session 1 of Tomah, and then the track's just saturated all the way up until it finally seemed to dry out Saturday day. They were shutting you down real fast Saturday night, and you looked to be up in the mix if it weren't for that chalk line there Saturday night.
Yeah.
What's some changes you're looking at moving forward? I know you mentioned some stuff with the way the chassis works. Anything else power drivetrain wise?
Yeah, we got more power in the stable. We just haven't even opened it up yet. We figured we'd learn how to drive it and a few other things. It's got more. But no, we got to get more weight up the front, get it pulling straight. It's two of the biggest things. That's two of the things we're really going to work on here, and more just seat time, just getting used to it and it getting used to me, I guess. So,
yeah.
So yeah, just bend the throttle, I guess, and go hard. But no, it's a little harder than others. Like 4-wheel drive didn't come up at all, or the Super Farm I could see down the side. When this thing goes up in the air, all you see is 4 engines.
Yeah.
That's all you can see. So going to have to get used to that a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, Friday night when I pulled out on the track, it was spongy. I mean, my front wheels was sinking. The tractor didn't even want to move, not even up to the sled. I never pulled on that spongy track. I don't blame the guys. They was just doing what they could do to have a pull up there for the fans and stuff. It was just Mother Nature wasn't kind to them up there. But no, all in all, we gathered everything up and, going to work harder to improve and try to get competitive with a tough field of, unlimiteds. That Saturday night class I just thought was unbelievably good myself. I mean, that was a tough field. There's, like I say, there's 12 guys out there with good machines and years of pulling experience, and it's just exciting to be out there beside them, to be honest. Got a lot of respect for the guys in the class.
So where are we going to see you next on the Grand National Circuit and on the local regional stuff?
We're heading down to Marion Wednesday night for a practice hook. They're going to let us hook just for another practice hook, and then we're off to Chapel Hill. going to another Grand National hook. So
Yep.
I'll have one more practice hook before I go there, and we'll be at it with all them guys again. So just see what we can do. We're
So swinging for the fences.
Yep, that's the way we like to fly. So yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm excited to see you guys get out there and make some waves in the national unlimited class. So all in all, Nathan, I hope you have a great rest of your night up there. Any last remarks? Anything you'd like to say, pass some knowledge and wisdom on?
No, not really. Just I really enjoy the guys I'm pulling with. Unlimited is really helpful, like I said before. And my sons, Ashton and Caden, did just a stellar job putting it together, and our other crew guys and everybody stepping in to help you out. That's the only thing. You can't do an unlimited by yourself. You need a lot of good people to help you, and I've got that, and that's what I guess that's probably the most fun of it is everybody working together. I enjoy that the most, and talking to the other pullers and stuff. They was awful friendly, and a lot of them come down and introduce themselves and stuff, even from other classes and stuff. And that was really neat. I've really enjoyed all that so far.
So it was great to sit here and talk with you. Best of luck on the rest of your season. You've got a big one ahead of you, and have a great rest of your night, Nathan.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Bye.
Kinsey, let's roll the videos of his passes one more time. There you go, folks. The one, the only Nathan Fry, from going and breaking the front end off and getting the 10th place Friday night to building it back and just rubbing the chalk line that would have put him right in the middle of the pack. So one of the great guys, and awesome to see a new vehicle in the sport. Kinsey, what you got? Anything else? Any final remarks? I know we're gonna cut this show a little bit short. I know Kinsey's got some stuff to do, and it's 4th of July, so everyone's got some stuff to do. Kinsey, you're in an airport, for heaven's sake.
I am. I'll be in Rushville, Indiana tomorrow night, streaming that poll on FullPoll.live, and I'll be in Durham, Michigan Saturday. So you can either come up and say hi to me if you see me bouncing around, and or you can watch it on FullPoll.live as well. And yeah, just get ready for a wonderful July for the bowling season, because it's going to be crazy.
Let's talk some Full Pull Live stuff real quick. We kicking off tomorrow night. We've got NTPA Region 2 in Rushville, Indiana, Rush County Fair.
Yes.
And then Wednesday night, Marion, Ohio. You heard Nathan Fry mention that they're going to make a test hook down there.
Yes,
and then rounding out the week with 3 big events going rapid fire one after another: Dorr, Michigan, Aston, Nebraska, and Lancaster, Wisconsin with the WTPA. So a whole bunch of great events on tap for this weekend. And it's going to be one of those weekends, short weekend to work, or a short week of work, but a long weekend to Poland. So a little bit of a change for once, not having Jason on the show, but I think we did all right, Kenzie.
I think we did fantastic.
Awesome. Well, any closing remarks?
Let's go Poland.
Let's go Poland. Thank you all for an amazing night, and let's go Poland.
See you next week.
See you next week. Same time, 7:30.
Today.
Let's talk about today.
Grand national state level, you have to run non-sales, wholesale.
Is like 9,000.
The only mistake I made, I didn't put it right in the registration booth with the
Just this ever-evolving story.